Hey neighbor, we're going to be talking about disease control in tomatoes today. Did you know tomatoes is the most popular thing grown in the home garden? And for good reason. We all love those tomato sandwiches. But there's three things in the home garden that has the most disease problems in my book, and those are watermelons, tomatoes, and peppers. Hopefully today we're going to give you some information on what you can treat your tomatoes with to keep those diseases at bay, to keep them away from your plants so you can grow those big, nice tomato plants and these wonderful tomatoes. But first of all, let me show you our watermelon video we did last week on disease control, and I'll show you how much progress our watermelons have made in just 7 days. Look at how green and disease-free these leaves are, how well they're growing. And it's a simple fact is we've had good weather and I've had good disease control products that I put them on there. So we're growing a good, healthy watermelon crop even after some bad weather. All right, so let's focus today on, okay, you've got your tomatoes planted, what you want to do now for disease control. Now I'm going to touch on a couple of things that we would do before that, but let's just assume you've already got your tomatoes planted and you're concerned now about diseases on your tomatoes. First thing is we want to make sure we're not planting tomatoes back in the same place where we had tomatoes. Good crop rotation. So let's make sure that we don't plant our tomatoes back in the same spot, but maybe every 3 years at minimum. We want to make sure that we're not putting tomatoes back where we've had disease problems before. We got good rotation. Therefore, we're setting ourselves up for a good harvest. Number two is make sure you pick the right variety. I'm assuming you did when your varieties at this stage here. Disease-resistant varieties that's suited for your geographic area is really important. You want to make sure that you got varieties that are resistant to diseases that you know you're going to have problems with. For me, that's tomato spotted wilt virus. I've got to grow those varieties. I know it. Whether it be late blight, early blight, or any other host of diseases that you can pick disease-resistant varieties for those that you know you're going to be susceptible to, I think is a huge issue. All right, so let's move on. All right, so we got our tomatoes planted, they're growing. We've come here and pruned off some of these lower leaves that was touching the ground there so that we don't have that transferring those diseases up. So we got good pruning lower leaves. Now, what do? Well, a good disease application program every 7 days, just like what we do on our watermelons, is in order to keep these tomatoes healthy. Now the first one I'm going to talk about is a product called Complete Disease Control. Now this is a biological fungicide. Now for you organic folks out there, there's very little you can do as far as organic disease controls, but here we have one. This right here is a biological. It's very safe. We can apply it as a drench, or we can apply it as a foliar spray. And it's a beneficial bacteria that colonizes on the leaf and the root system there that helps shield these plants from having diseases. It works pretty dadgum good for an organic control, been around for a long time. So if we're looking at some of the mildews or gray mold or things like that, this product here works wonderful for that. You don't have to worry about how often you can apply it. You can apply it as much as you want to. It's safe, not going to hurt the environment, extremely safe product. But it is limited on what kind of diseases it will control. All right, the next one is fruit, flower, and ornamental fungicide. And the active ingredient is this chlorothianine, which has been around for a long time. It is a great fungicide because how it works is very simple. When you spray it on your plants, it creates a little whitish film on the leaves there, and it protects these diseases, these leaf spots, these mildews, any of these from entering or growing on your plant. It has no root activity at all. Any soil diseases that in the soil there, it has nothing to do with those. Only a foliar protected. So you can spray it up to 7 days apart, and it's going to keep those leaves nice and healthy and protected from any diseases entering that plant. So if we get one of those big rainstorms, we have one of those high humidity days where disease is really active, those plants are going to be protected. Next one's liquid cop. Now, there's very few things that will help control late blight and early blight on tomatoes, but liquid cop fits the bill for that. Also, any kind of bacteria speck, liquid cop works on. It is a good one because it will actually absorb into the leaf, and it has some generalized mobility there within the leaf that it can move around and kill those pathogens there. Now, I have a tendency to have a problem here in my garden with early blight. You may have a problem with early blight or late blight, but liquid cop will work on both of those as well as the bacteria. there's not very many products out there that have activities on those particular pathogens. So liquid copper is a great one. I think the application rate is going to be between 2/3 of an ounce to 1 ounce per gallon there. We can apply it up to 7 days apart. The next one's garden Phos. Garden Phos is a great one because it can actually move inside that plant. We can spray garden Phos on the root system there. It has some activity within root diseases, but primarily we use it as a leaf application there, as a foliar application, and it can move, it can be absorbed systemically and moved inside of that plant localized and kill those diseases. Alternaria, bacteria diseases, your mildews and things like that, anthracnose, garden Phos works wonderful on. There again, I think the application rate is somewhere between 3/4 of an ounce to 1 ounce per gallon, and it is a wonderful one out there, and it controls some of those hard to control diseases. All right, folks, so let's talk about setting up a spray schedule. Now, your complete disease control, you can spray it at any time. You can do a drench on there to help colonize on the root system there and help to prevent from some of those root diseases on your plant there. You can spray as a foliar. It doesn't matter how often you do it. It's a good product. It's not going to have any issues with any of the other fungicides. We don't want to spray them with the same application though. So let's set up a schedule there. How are we going to treat our tomatoes? On a 7-day schedule, I think this is ideal. And this is every 7 days. We're going to rotate each one of these fungicides. First one is liquid cop. We're going to spray liquid cop. We're going to come back 7 days later. We're going to spray something like the chlorothianil, the fruit, vegetable, and ornamental fungicide. And then 7 days later, we're going to come in here and spray garden Phos. Now, you can mix those up however you want to, but you understand what I'm saying? We're going to switch each one of these up on a 21-day rotation. Then we're going to go back and do the same thing again. What that's going to do is give us 3 different modes of action to protect these plants. It's also going to give us some systemic and some protective there. We never know what kind of weather we're going to have. It's best to be proactive than it is reactive on these diseases right here. If we've got these plants nice and healthy and protected and a storm comes in here, we're going to be a lot better off than these plants are not treated. With any of these fungicides, we want to spray late in the afternoon, right before dark. We don't spray it in the middle of the day when the sun's out, when it's hot. We want to give them fungicides ample opportunity to work and not to burn the plant. So when we talk about tomato disease control, there's a whole host of things we can do to help control diseases. Crop rotation, selecting the right variety for your area, and then staying on a good strict fungicide application to help those plants grow off healthy. Now, I've got some heirlooms here in my garden right here. I got some hybrids here, and I'm probably going to lose 1 or 2 in here. I understand that going forward. I got some varieties in here that are not very disease resistant, if any at all. But I want to try to grow some of those because it's going to be a bonus if I get some of those heirlooms in there. If I lose 2 or 3 of them, I've got my backup plan with my hybrids here. So keep that in mind, even though all of us are going to lose a tomato plant here and there, but the main thing is to stay on top of it, do what we can to protect those plants.